pictures were from 1936. The first one here is of my father's side, and they came from, my grandfather and grandmother came from Barbados. And they were involved in what we call the Miller Baby Derby. I think there's one person here that remembers it, but it was the time, excuse me, in 1926, a man called Charles Vance Miller left $1 million to the woman who would have the most children in a 10-year period. True, right here in the city of Toronto. It was called the Baby Derby. It was the Miller Baby Derby. My family took part in the derby, but unfortunately they came in third, but ended up having 14 children. My father, who is not in this picture, was the first of 14. And right now we have one left, number 14, and she's like 83 years old, my Aunt Doris, right? So a huge history. You can imagine what Christmas was like with everybody getting together, the Bajan side. Now on the other side, also in 1936, is my grandmother and my mother. And this picture, this picture was taken when my mother came up from St. Kitts. My grandmother had to leave her daughter in St. Kitts for 12 years. She had to come up here to work, like so many families have to leave their children in their country to come up for a better life. So she came up, and this was when she brought my mother up. And this picture was also taken in 1926. I'm not sure if my parents, I think they might have just met around that time. But there's so many different things that were happening in the world at that time. And that was just before the start of the war. And I actually have a scrapbook of my grandmother's from like 1935, 36, right into the war, and it shows the progression of the war. It's very interesting. And this picture here, this is me, by the way, and this was my first fashion show that I ever did, and it was right here at Cloverdale Mall. And it was for the Walker's department store. So we've been coming to Cloverdale for a long time. I used to always say, if you can't find the Carters, look for them in Cloverdale, because that's what it would be. And at that time, Cloverdale didn't have a cover to it. This is new. I don't know, maybe last century, almost last century sometime, that they put the top on it. But it was a Walker department store, and this was taken at Cloverdale Mall. And now, also from 1936, this was my grandmother's cape, and it's Persian lamb. And if you take time to take a look at this video here, I have a lot of clothes from my mother and grandmother that are about 100 years old. So what I'm doing, I'm looking forward to an installation at the art gallery. They come and they've chosen some pieces, but it's not going to be until, I thought it was going to be next year, it's not going to be until 2026. But in the meanwhile, I have this little, call it a sizzle reel, and what I'm working towards is doing a 3-part mini-series on my history, on my family's history in clothing, and also what was happening in the world. When you look back 100 years, to be able to show the world 100 years ago what was happening and show it in clothing and photographs. So here's my granddaughter and her great-great-grandmother's house coat. So I also have my daughter here, Micah, who's taking photographs. So the video showed, this was the progression of my modeling career. So I'm still working when they look older models, whatever. So this was, here we are, in clothing of mine, of my Wayne Clark clothes, who was a great Canadian designer. So if you have a chance, take a look. It's going to be called the Fashion Griot. And the griot is a storyteller. It's actually a West African storyteller. So I called myself the Fashion Griot. So look out for us. well, look out for me or for my family. So we'll be out there. Hopefully you'll see us soon. Okay, and that's it.
Thank you so much. Thank you everybody who shared. It adds so much to these exhibitions to be able to hear about your backgrounds and your work. So thank you.